DNA Studios. Step into a new dimension.
Hello guys, welcome back to another DNA Studios episode or review, I should say, anime review or anime chat. I kind of was thinking about maybe changing my kind of the way I call this little thing, this little chat, these reviews kind of. It's more like an anime talk or an anime chat kind of, since it's just you guys and myself. Anyway, so yes, I'm back and I have some other stuff to talk about. But first, I do have a few announcements. We are going to conventions. For those of you who don't know, we are going to KomoriCon or yeah, I believe it's KomoriCon. And also we are going to PunchCon or PitchCon, which is coming up soon. So if you guys are familiar with those two conventions, we will be appearing there. We will be appearing there. One of those conventions is in Baltimore, and the other one is further out. If you want to know anything about those conventions, go on their websites or look them up. They are really, really awesome. Two awesome cons. So if you're wondering about conventions, we are appearing at those two cons for some con coverage and a couple other things. So if you see us there, or if you catch us, you will be able to find us, or hopefully you'll be able to see us there. You'll get a glimpse of us. I don't know if you guys had heard, because we did announce it on on Instagram at one point, one of the conventions. We're still not sure. We are still not sure whether we're going to be appearing at any other ones, but those two we should be appearing. If anything changes, I will update you guys. But those two we should be appearing at. So yeah, if you are looking to or wondering whether we're going to be appearing at cons, those are the two that we're going to be appearing at. I will also give more information once those conventions get closer and things are more kind of final. Anyway, so yeah, welcome back to another DNA Studios episode, or anime chat, or anime talk, or whatever you want to call this, right? You could call it a review if you wanted to, but welcome back. It's been a while. I did not record last Wednesday due to some crazy stuff, and I was just really busy, and I didn't get a chance to do an episode or kind of record anything and post anything because I was so busy. And there wasn't really much going on with anime, because there wasn't anything new. There's still a lot of second seasons I'm waiting on, and still a lot of stuff that I'm waiting to see what happens next. Now, okay, look, for me at least, there wasn't anything new to report. There was stuff going on. There's always stuff going on. Like Crunchyroll announced that they're going to be putting some more music on Spotify, which is really awesome. And also that, also the other thing that also happened was that Eminence in Shadow, the series that I've been following, that I've been raving about, is getting a season 2, which is cool because I can't wait to see what happens. Now, during the times when that was happening, I also found another show, which is okay, it's not exactly like Eminence in Shadow, but same kind of genre, where this is an action adventure fantasy isekai kind of title. And yes, I know, guys, you're like, really, isekai? It's like, you guys are like, really, isekai?
It's official. You suck.
And no, it's not that. It's just that the isekai genre right now has been kind of mixing with action, and it's kind of creating a new, like, an action adventure genre. So it's like an isekai action adventure, which has actually caught my eye in some cases because it's a really different spin on your normal isekai title. Where most regular isekai titles follow the tropes, the action adventure type isekais don't always follow the tropes, or it's just a blend of like action and also trapped in another world or transported to another world or something like that. And this one is very similar, and yes, it is one of those ones where some dude gets transported to another world, only this has a different spin. Now, this title is a long title, so I'm not going to say all of it, but if you want to look it up, it is called I Got a Cheat Skill in Another World and Became Unrivaled in the Real World. So that's the title of this series. Crazy title. I am not going to say that over and over again. Just trying to say that 3 times is crazy. So yeah.
Bitch, I'm adorable.
Exactly. Anyway, but yeah, really interesting series. The main character is really kind of interesting. He ends up being this kind of unpopular and kind of he is, how can I describe him? He's kind of an outcast is the best way to describe him. And he the only person who really takes any interest in him or even thinks anything of him is his grandfather, who I'm guessing knew about this other universe that he stumbles upon, or I guess knew already. And the grandfather leaves him a whole house. The grandfather leaves him the grandfather's house, of course, when the grandfather passes on. And so somehow the main character is the only one who has access to this house and can actually live there, and he stays there because nobody else really cares about him. Nobody else thinks anything of him. They think he's a loser, and he's just horrible. He's just not he's not worth their time, right? And so he ends up stumbling upon his grandfather's hidden rooms, and he ends up finding all kinds of weird stuff that the grandfather collected and had and just kind of kept, right? And in that room, he finds a doorway to another dimension or another world, which is kind of interesting because in this show, it's like this, if you could imagine stepping into like an alternate universe, or like stepping into maybe like some place that is like, it's like Earth, but like a futuristic version of Earth, or like stepping into like a video game version of this world, or like well, maybe not a video game, but like a digital version, like where virtual reality and we're like and like where like game reality and like all that stuff is integrated into the real world and a part of the real world. So anything you do in that, like if you level up, or if you train really hard, or like if you defeat a monster or creature, you get bonus points and skills and all kinds of cool stuff. And that translates over to the real world, because in this other world, all that stuff is part of that world, but also is integrated into the real world as well. So what happens to you in that world also happens to you in reality, which is really freaky and kind of weird. But it also makes a really interesting story, because you see shows like Sword Art Online, all that stuff where it's all virtual. This one is a little different, where anything he does in this other world does. So like in one scene, he makes money off of doing something in this other world, and you see the money in the other world, right? It shows how much he has, and then all of a sudden when he goes to step out, when he goes to go through the doorway to step out, the money drops on the floor, and boom, it's actual money that he can spend in the real world, which translates over, which is kind of interesting and kind of weird. It's almost like if you could do everything that you do now online, and anything you did online was actually physically possible to actually hold or could translate into the real world. So say you made $10,000 in crypto, right? And then all of a sudden you would take off your headset, boom, the money would either be, the crypto coins would either be in your hand, or they would somehow be shipped to you or sent to you or whatever, and boom, you would have your actual crypto in your hand, which you can actually do that. You can get Bitcoin, actual coins or gold coins. But this is like a whole different spin on that, where anything he does in this world, boom, it translates to the real world. Really interesting, and so really kind of interesting and kind of unique for a story. So he ends up getting in shape, he ends up doing all this crazy stuff, and somehow along the way, he ends up becoming pretty crazy awesome. But the funniest thing is that like all the stuff that he does in this other world, also he doesn't realize, also makes him kind of a badass, but also makes him really noticeable to other people. So when he goes around walking around looking for other people in the world and meeting other people in the other world, like people look at him like he's like some sort of like famous person, or like some sort of a celebrity, or he's like model or something like that. And so it is crazy, because he ends up becoming like, not only does he end up becoming a model, but also he also he also becomes somewhat famous and does like help stuff, and he used to help people in the real world too, but in this other dimension he just kind of kept doing that because this was a part of his personality, even though people hated him and treated him bad. So he ends up becoming like this supermodel, and then like it's just ridiculous. It gets crazier, and he does a bunch of other things and becomes pretty famous. He walks through a mall and ends up like people stare at him crazy because he's really in shape, and like because he trained in this other universe, and he became fit, and so anything that he did in the other world when he trained, it also translated to the real world. So he used to be chubby and kind of fat, and when he trained in the other world, his body changed, and then so that also happened in his world, in the real world that he was in. And it was crazy. So the two worlds are kind of connected. His world and the world that he discovers, or the doorway that he steps through, are all connected in some way. And it's like stepping into almost like, it's like not a game, but it's just like stepping into a more advanced version of like the world you already know. So his world, it's just like, it's sort of like his universe, but like more advanced and with like more dangerous monsters and like more just kind of crazy stuff, and superpowers and all kinds of crazy level ups and all kinds of stuff. So it's like just a crazier version of his world, but with digital pieces of it, like video game pieces and like other enhancements to it that are just ridiculous. And it's an interesting show. I've watched about 8 episodes of it. So if you guys are interested in this one, go check this one out. Like I said, the title is crazy long. And yes, it is technically an isekai title. And you guys might be tired of isekai titles, but give this one a shot. It is still an action adventure based series. And it kind of reminds me of like Eminence in Shadow a little bit because of the action parts of it. But it also kind of reminds me of Black Summoner with kind of like there are some like game elements and pieces to it where it seems like he's kind of in a video game, but kind of not because of the way that this other universe works. It's like a mixture of like game and reality, or it's more like a mixture of virtual reality and actual reality, which is kind of crazy. Because most of the world that he steps into, or the world that he discovers, is very similar to his actual world, just slightly different, and it's more advanced, or it just has crazier stuff in it than his world does, than his original world that he's from does. It's really crazy. So yeah, if you would like to check this one out, do give it a try. I got a cheat skill in another world, and became unrivaled in the real world. So yeah, if you and it's a long title, that's just a part of it. I'm not gonna say the whole thing, it's too long. But if you want to check this one out, give it a try. I will talk more about it as it starts to like wrap up. That's all I know so far. I've gotten up to about 8 episodes. It is getting more interesting as you go forward. If you're not a big into isekai or big into action adventure, I get it, right? There's so many other genres you can get into. I kind of have been staying away from some of the other genres, like some of the slice of life and some of the what's other slice of life and some of the genres have not been as good. I did check out one of the ones that I said I was going to check out. There was another series that I just recently started watching a tiny bit of, which was The Hero Is Already Dead. I did check a little bit of that one out, but I'll tell you my thoughts on that one eventually. I might watch a little more of it and just tell you my thoughts. I started watching it, but didn't really care for it. That genre is actually one of the genres I try to avoid, actually, just because it's the ichi harem genre. I tend to stay away from the ichi. Now, not always, because there are shows like High School DxD which do actually do well, but right now I've been kind of avoiding the ichi harem genre. It has not been great with story recently, and I've been a little disappointed with some of the shows. The comedy is just not very funny, and I don't know, some of the stuff that's coming out has just not been good. So my recommendation to you, if you are looking for something, maybe you're not into the isekai genre, but if you're into action adventure, you might You might like the I got a cheat skill in another world. You might like the show. If not, go watch Eminence in Shadow because that is really awesome. And we're still waiting on Dragon Ball Super, another piece to Dragon Ball Super. But in the meantime, go check this out or go watch. If you find something else or another recommendation, drop me a comment in the comment section and let me know what other show maybe I should check out if there's any other ones that you want me to check out. And also what you guys, I'd love to hear what you guys are watching. If you're watching My Hero, that's been pretty good recently. So yeah, go watch My Hero or whatever. And with that, guys, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Hi there. Please subscribe or follow DNA Anime Blog and DNA Studios on all of their social media platforms. Okay, bye!